Okay, we're live again, and I'm only like 2 minutes after my 10 o'clock start time because I wanted to go over to my profile and my other page that I have and post a little, hey, we're going live over at Belly Dance Geek. So, um, anyway, so I'm Heather Wayman, and I'm the director at Belly Dance Geek, and this is video number 7, the last video in the Summer Improv Challenge video series. And this week, I'm going to talk with you about expression. So think about it. And I know this happened to me in my early years, especially when I first got started. And then for probably several more years after that, I know this happened. You get on stage and you've got either one of 3 faces usually happens to a dancer. The first one is thinking face. Okay, especially if you're doing choreography, which is pretty much what we all start off with doing. And so you're trying to remember the choreography and you're doing your stuff and you've got this smoke coming out of the ears kind of expression, and you look at the video and you can totally see that you're actually thinking really, really hard. Okay, so that's thinking face. And then we also have, here's one that I've seen a lot on myself, and that is the dead expression. This can happen if you are bored or if you have an audience that is like a lot of Western audiences and very polite, and they think that they're at an orchestra performance or a ballet performance, and that they're supposed to be polite and sit on their hands until after it's all over with. So that can contribute to this kind of expression. Is it almost over? Oh my God, could this go on any longer? Dead expression. Okay. And then after you get some experience and you dance a little bit longer, there's an expression that I like to call cartoon face. I didn't make that up. I've heard this a gazillion times. Cartoon face is when you've seen enough videos of yourself, or you've seen yourself in the mirror, or usually it's video, and you think that you smiled during your performance, but you realize after watching the video that you didn't. And I will sit and watch past videos of myself like this, just trying to will myself to smile, and it never works because obviously it already happened. Or I'll have cartoon face and it'll be like this. All right, because because when you do look at the video of yourself and you do see that you smiled some, what you remember your performance feeling like, for me, I always remember it as, wow, I really thought I smiled a whole lot bigger and more, and I was more expressive when I was doing it in the moment, and now I see that I wasn't. So in order to combat that or counteract that, next time I get on stage, I would just go over the top. So that can happen. And I'm sure there are other expressions that people can come up with. But I want to give you some tips on how to have more authentic expression in your dance. The first one, and I think this is probably the most important one, is breathing. You absolutely have to breathe when you perform. Now, people might say, well, gosh, breathing is a natural response. It's just what we do to live. And it is. But when we get into situations where we're nervous or we're a little bit uncomfortable, what tends to happen is our breath gets caught right here somewhere in this area. And it creates tension in our jaw. And everything seizes up, and your brain seizes up too. So breathing is very, very important. If you can Separate your teeth. I love this strategy. I learned this one from Nadira, and it works. It absolutely works. And I also learned it from Rania Renee. I took some coaching with Rania Renee, and she has an excellent breathwork for performance program. Anyway, so separate and lift and melt, right? All right, now I'm starting lift and separate. It's starting to sound like a Playtex bra commercial. Anyway, I digress. Okay, so breathing is very, very important. Another thing, there are other strategies that you can use, and I think some of my favorite ones are talking to the audience in my head. Okay, you can be dancing along, and in your head, you wouldn't say this, but I'm going to say it so that you'll know what the heck I'm talking about. Dancing along, all of a sudden you see someone, you make eye contact, and you're like, oh, hey, it's you. And then over here, I'm so glad you came. Okay. All right. And you can also, so you can talk to your audience, but you can also talk about yourself, because that's a fun thing to do sometimes. You can totally be a diva in your own mind as you're performing. Okay, you can be like, I'm the best dancer you've ever seen. Yeah. Okay. And another one that I really like, this is really good for getting your posture, remembering your posture and keeping it up. I'm an elegant princess, or yes, I'm a queen. Okay. All right. And if you're doing a piece that might be folkloric or something a little bit more playful, you could just be like this total, I'm a girl from the village, and I'm just doing my thing here, and you guys are gonna love it. Okay, so you can talk to yourself or about yourself to your audience, and that can give you a very lighthearted expression too. You can talk about what you're doing. Okay, let's say it's a shimmy. You got a shimmy spot going on in your music, and you could be like, yeah, look at that shimmy go. Okay. All right. If you want to focus on, like last week we talked about arm frames, you can focus on your hands or your arms. Wow, look at how wonderful this arm frame or these hands are. How lovely. Okay. Right? And also, when you use your eyes to follow your arms or your hands, that's going to draw your audience to that movement or that feature of your performance as well too. So you can kind of direct them. You can be bossy without being bossy. Okay. Let's see. You can also talk. Let's talk about some of the expressions that we might have in dance. The biggest one, I think, is happy. Okay. This is a little bit outside the scope of this video, so I won't go into it very much. But a note on music. Some music sounds happy and upbeat, but the lyrics might not be. So you really, it's important to know what you're dancing to. If you're dancing to music with lyrics, and not only music that an instrumental piece also generally has lyrics too. So you really want to make sure that you know what you're dancing to. So you don't want to be happy to a song that sounds happy, but talks about, oh, my house just burned down and my dog died and the truck broke down and, whatever. But anyway, so happy, we talked about some of the ways to show happy with your audience. Oh, hey, it's so nice to see you. Things like, oh, you two make such a nice couple. Oh, look at that. All right. So happy, you can convey happy without having it be put on, if you think about things like that. One that is a little bit harder, I think, is sad, you know. I mean, the music, if you have a real languid, uh, sad sounding kind of piece of music, you can certainly kind of get into that. And what usually starts to happen though is we get all furrowed here in our brow, and we're like, oh my God, my heart is breaking, and don't do that. Don't do that. You can still have a sad kind of expression without screwing up your face and making it all look like, you know, I don't know, a wrinkled up prune or something like that. Let's see. Let me see if I can do sad. It's really hard for me to do sad when I'm not sad. I never could cry on demand either. Okay, and you got to listen to me breathe through that. Okay, and then introspective is another one of my favorites. I like this, and I used to do this more often, more as a defense mechanism or a fourth wall kind of thing. When I first started dancing, I was like most of us, scared to death, and I didn't want to look at the audience, you know. So everything I did was just like all introspective. I'd look up and down, you know, just kind of like this kind of thing. I was afraid of them. Okay. Introspective is good in small doses because it gives your audience, it gives your piece texture. Okay. Because if you're just all up in their face all the time and and that's it, then by the time you're done, they're going to be like, oh, I'm so glad it's over, you know? So you need some texture in your dance. So happy, happy, joy, joy. Oh, you're a lovely couple. Oh, and then a little bit of introspection. Yeah, and then make a little contact and maybe come back in. Okay, and then you come back out of it into the next section of the music. And that usually happens when there's a tocsin or some other sort of a slow musical interlude. Your music will dictate when you do that. Although I want to say that, again, a little outside the scope of this video, but music, I should do a video on music. Just because the music is fast doesn't mean you have to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You can be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. So you can still have texture in a fast song, and it'll be better for you and better for your audience. So anyway, lots of different tips there on expression. Be careful of the dead expression, the thinking face, okay, and the cartoon face. Use your breath. Breath work is so important for making your audience relaxed and making you relaxed also. Talk to your audience, not with your mouth, but with your brain and your eyes. And heck, talk to yourself. Talk about what you're doing, what a fabulous dancer you are. Even if you don't believe it yet, do it anyway. Because the more you do it, the closer you'll get to believing it. And eventually you'll be there. You will believe it because you are a fabulous dancer. Everybody that has the guts to get out there and try this is a fabulous dancer because you did it, right? Okay. Couple of housekeeping items here. It has come to my attention that video number 1 and 2 in the series has some improv in it with music, but apparently the 2 songs that I used were not in the public domain. So Facebook said, we're not going to let you play that. So when I downloaded it and put it onto, uploaded to YouTube and Instagram, it muted out. And I'm so sorry about that. Video number 3, or no, wait, I think it was number 5. Video number 5 has Rock's Layla, which apparently is in the public domain and plays beautifully. And the rest of the videos are like this one. There was no music, so we don't have an issue. So anyway, I will make a concerted effort to use music that will play on YouTube and Facebook in the future when we do videos like this. And also want to let you know that this is the last video in this improv series. I'll do something else later. I'll do something, but we've got the Improvisation Safety Net Coaching program coming up starting on September 7th, and there's still space available. I would love to have you join. Check it out at bellydancegeek.com/ISN 2019. And if you have questions, let me know. It's a fabulous program. It's one of the first programs that I went through with Nadira back in 2011. And it was the reason that I had the courage, the tools, just the guts and the chutzpah to get up and dance to a live band for the very first time. And you can do it too. And even if you're already dancing improv, it's got some great strategies in there for making dance improvisation much easier to do, because you can learn from the head here, so you can dance from the heart and get your brain out of the way. It's kind of like having a purse that has all sorts of little pockets in there. We need pockets in our purse so that we can find our stuff. And that's what the Improvisation Safety Net Coaching program is all about. Making compartments and putting your tools where they need to be so that you can draw from them very easily and effectively, and whip out that improv to music that you've never even heard before. I did it. I actually did it at La Danse 2018 in the live music competition. Everybody before me got songs that I knew. I get a song, I'm last, I get the song. I still don't know what it was. And it ended up working out pretty good. And I brought home the crown and the trophy. So it was really exciting. Also, our next Clubhouse call is coming up this Thursday at 2:00 Pacific time. And if you're on the mailing list, you should have gotten an email about that this morning. Dawn Devine, also known as Davina, is going to be talking with us about 10 things that she's learned about belly dancing costumes. She's going to teach us how to think like a designer before we, for when we purchase or make our next belly dance costume. So there's going to be some great stuff. Challenge for today. Let me see. What can it be? In the comments, please put right in there what your favorite expression is, or maybe what your favorite part about today's video was. Yeah, do that for me. Say hi, because I'm so glad I'm not in here by myself, and it's always nice to have folks with. Hey, Emily. Hey, Farah. Okay, I'm signing off now. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.